It's a historical fact. Muhammad was once a refugee taken in by the Jewish city of Medina. Within 5 years, he had driven out, executed, or enslaved every Jew living in Medina. My name is Howard Riell, and this is Riell Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com and on Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr and in the book, Riell Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Our call-in number, 877-254-7524. My friends, last day of the week, tomorrow, some kind of holiday, I think, and we won't be on the air. Item from the Washington Examiner. President Obama's open-door immigration policy is set to accept more immigrants from Muslim nations over the next 5 years than the entire population of Washington, D.C., according to federal documents. Figures from the Department of Homeland Security show that the president has already issued 680,000 green cards to immigrants from Muslim nations over the next 5 years. Unless Congress changes his policy, that number will be repeated in the next 5 years. Unquote. Related item from BizPackReview.com. It did happen, and I saw it. Donald Trump is telling the truth about Muslims celebrating in New Jersey on September 11, 2001. I drove with family members through Paterson, New Jersey that morning after the planes hit. It's not the kind of thing you forget. We witnessed people in traditional Muslim garb dancing, jumping, shouting, and celebrating like their team had won the Super Bowl, just as Trump said. I watched when the World Trade Center came tumbling down, Trump said on Saturday, and I watched in Jersey City, New Jersey, where thousands and thousands of people were cheering as that building was coming down. Thousands of people were cheering. Trump has refused to back off on those comments. He told ABC's George Stephanopoulos Sunday, it did happen, I saw it. Media outlets and politicians have been quick to call the Republican presidential frontrunner a liar, but the fact is it happened just like he said it. Unquote. My friends, I remember it like it was yesterday. The following day or two after the event, I also saw news coverage of Muslims in New Jersey dancing, jumping up and down, smiling. They were loving the fact that 3,000 Americans had been brutally murdered by Muslim terrorists. Why were they doing it? Well, the basic answer is that Muslims don't assimilate. They continue to think of themselves as the enemy of any non-Muslim population in which they find themselves, which is why we needn't have any here. And I said any. Item from the Daily Mail. A tranquil Swedish village is being torn apart by bitter tensions after the arrival of 20 refugee families. Mail Online can reveal. Tarnsjö, 150 kilometers north of Stockholm, has become a hotbed of resentment where migrant children as young as 5 need a police escort to get to school. Residents and newcomers have exchanged insults, thrown rocks, and set fire to cars, leaving many on both sides scared to leave the safety of their homes. In the last few months, with 10,000 asylum seekers arriving a week, the country has reintroduced border controls, and the anti-immigrant Sweden Democrats have become the second largest party in Sweden, opinion polls show. Protesters have set fire to 17 immigration centers in the past 2 months, and the authorities have warned it's only a matter of time before someone is killed in the race-hate arson attacks engulfing this once peaceful nation. The problem in Tarnsjö, far-right local councilor Michael Oman told Mail Online, comes down to the fact that many of the villagers never wanted the migrants to move in. Unquote. My friends, the large majority of Americans don't want migrants moving in here either, which means that this kind of conflagration is inevitable. Wherever Muslims go, there's violence, there's hatred, there's killing, there's destruction. And it's Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton who are bringing them here. Remember that when it comes time to vote. Item from World Truth TV. When government is completely dysfunctional, it seems not to serve the people's interests. We have to wonder where our tax dollars are going. Thanks to a Reuters investigation by Scott Paltrow, we have an answer, or rather a non-answer. Apparently, the Pentagon has made use of $8.5 trillion of our tax money handed over by Congress since 1996. But don't ask what was done with the money. The Department of Defense doesn't have a clue. Audits of all federal agencies were mandated by law beginning in 1996, but the Pentagon is unique in never having complied. In almost 20 years, the Pentagon has never accounted for the trillions it spent, in part because plugging, that's fudging the numbers, is standard operating procedure. According to the investigation, employees of the Defense Finance and Accounting Service, the Pentagon's primary accounting agency, were routinely told by superiors to take unsubstantiated change actions. These plugs, which amounted to falsifying the books, were used to bring the military's figures in line with the Treasury's when discrepancies could not be traced and accounted for. According to DFAS employee Linda Woodford, quote, "A lot of times there were issues of numbers being inaccurate. We didn't have the detail for a lot of it." This so-called plugging is not unique to DFAS. When it comes to resolving lost or missing information, it's just business as usual in every branch of the service. Unquote. My friends, this is why we need a new category of crime in this country. Crimes against the American people. Specifically, people in position of authority who lie, who obfuscate, who hide, and because of whom trillions of tax dollars are lost. People guilty of these crimes weaken the United States, cripple the United States, and steal from every single taxpaying American. And so, I want the people responsible for this atrocity jailed. And I don't just mean jailed. I mean jailed forever. Jail them for 20, 30 years or more and send the message that no, the United States is not a banana republic. The United States is not a third world hellhole. The United States is and must always be accountable to the U.S. citizens. And so I call upon lawmakers to create this new level of crime. Crimes against the American people. I want the people responsible for this fiasco found, incarcerated, and let them learn. Let the American people learn that if we don't have the rule of law, we've got nothing. It's Wednesday, it's Riell Truth, the day before Thanksgiving.
We don't know that our government is under control. Who are the people in it? How can we, the people, bring it back to the people's servants, not the people's masters? Liberty Trump and the freedom rider said, officials in the government must be made accountable for their actions. AccountabilityRevolution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. They put their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com.
Schlotsky's Belly Fort Collins honors our fighting men and women of all the veterans who have gone before you. We salute you and thank you for your sacrifice. Our prayers go with you and your family. This military tribute, Schlotsky's Belly at 4212 South College Avenue, Fort Collins. Check out our daily specials or call for delivery. 970-226-1711. That's 970-226-1711. Great people, great food, great service. Call today. And of His fullness we have all received, and grace for grace. For the law was given through Moses, but grace and truth came through Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ. No one has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, who is in the bosom of the Father, He has declared Him. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 16. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
All right, guys, welcome back to Riell Truth. I am Howard Riell, getting ready to eat like no one's business tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. Today we've got more important business, informing America of the many threats it faces. And let's start right here. Here's the Sean Hannity show on Fox News. His guest is Senator Ted Cruz, for whom I have tremendous respect. President of the United States refugee plan is, according to Senator Cruz, quote, profoundly dangerous. I agree. Let's listen. All right, folks, let me cut the video there. Go to my Facebook page, Riell Truth Radio. You'll find it in its entirety. Sean Hannity asked the question, who's got blood on their hands? He wanted Cruz to say Democrats, and of course Democrats do, for empowering Obama, for supporting him even to this very day. Of course they do. What about all the other people in America? What about all the people who don't bother voting, who might have gone out and voted against Obama and prevented this, but I've got more important things to do. Voting doesn't do anything. The fix is in and blah, 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 blah. My friends, you're going to vote. If you're listening to my show, you're going to vote in this presidential election. You're not going to vote for Hillary Clinton. You're going to vote for whoever the Republican Party puts up. And if you don't feel like voting, if you're comfortable at home and it's cold outside and doesn't matter, well, you know what? Get up off your ass and vote anyway. Don't you deserve it? Don't your children deserve a better America? You know they do. So get up off your ass. And by the way, while you're on your ass, turn off the TV. Item from Breitbart.com. Radio host Rush Limbaugh is warning listeners during Barack Obama's upcoming final year in office, the president will move ahead with whatever he desires because, quote, he knows nobody's going to stop him. Quote, we're fast approaching Obama's last year in office, Limbaugh said. I want to warn you again, in all likelihood, there are going to be things this president does in the next 12 months that you can't even think of or conceive of now, unquote. Limbaugh continued that Obama recognizes no limits to his power, and he will do what he wants. Quote, it doesn't matter what the courts say. It doesn't matter if Obama policies have a stay on them or a temporary halt. It's his last chance to have personal stamps or fingerprints on the transformation of this country, Limbaugh added. He knows the Republicans have taken impeachment. It's late for that anyway. There's not going to be any effort to stop him, unquote. Absolutely right, my friends. Absolutely right. Again, it is legal. It is constitutional for Barack Obama to suspend the 2016 election and simply remain as president. What's that you say couldn't happen? Think again. Item again from Breitbart. Senator Jeff Sessions, Republican Alabama, is out with a list of 12 vetted refugees who quickly joined jihad plots to attack the United States. He's spotlighting the refugees turned jihadis because he's trying to prod GOP leaders into halting Congress's normal practice of giving the president huge leeway to import foreign migrants and refugees into the United States. This year, Obama's promising to bring in an extra 10,000 low-skill, potentially difficult to integrate Syrian migrants into the United States. Sessions and other critics fear he'll use his many powers and Congress's autopilot funding for refugees programs to bring in far more than 10,000 migrants. Unquote. My friends, remember who's got blood on their hands for any mayhem caused by these migrants. Yes, it's Obama. And yes, it's the Democrats. And yes, it's Congress for not stopping them. And it's Americans in general. Either for voting for him or not voting against him. Those are all the parties that will have innocent blood on their hands. When, not if. When the horror comes to America. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Riell Truth marches on. It does, really. It marches. Trust me. I know that.
Howdy, folks. Have you ever thought about having your own backyard chickens? Now you have a source for certified organic, no GMO, no soy chicken feed. HappyHeads.biz can even deliver, or you can pick up. Call me, Tim, at 303-829-5948, or go to HappyHeads.biz for pricing and ingredients. At HappyHeads.biz, we love HappyHeads.biz. Or call us at 303-829-5948. Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981.
Grid Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems a search for Gold Card. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to greatplacesolar.com. He was in the world, and the world was made through him, and the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. But as many as received him, to them he gave the right to become children of God, to those who believe in his name, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 10 through 13. Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. And no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
Coming back right now. All right, guys, welcome back. This video comes from the Washington Post. Muslim refugees dominate conversation among GOP candidates. Let's listen.
I watched when the World Trade Center came tumbling down. And I watched
Wrong. Yeah, my friends, that's why John Kasich is a nobody and a nothing, and he was out of the presidential race before he even started. Because he wants to help Barack Obama throw open I'm not even going to waste my time talking about John Kasich, because he's done and forgotten, and no one ever cared about anything he had to say. Except I understand he's collecting a lot of money for an attack ad campaign against Donald Trump, which can only help the Democrats. So from beginning to end, John Kasich turns out to be a knucklehead who's got nothing positive to offer the American people. My friends, I told you, I'll tell you again, I remember in the days after 9/11, I watched on television the videos of Muslims in New Jersey celebrating, handing out candy, dancing, laughing as the trade towers were coming down. It's no one's imagination. And for someone like George Stephanopoulos, who works for the major media, he's got access to all the video archives going way, way back. He could call that video up in a minute if he wanted to. Instead, politically, it's better for him to lie, even if it means Americans will die. Well, Stephanopoulos is going to have to live with that. But the fact of the matter is everything Donald Trump said was true. Item. From the Economic Collapse blog, has there ever been a major holiday more focused on materialism than the modern American Christmas? This year, Americans are planning to spend an average of $830 on Christmas gifts, which represents a jump of $110 over the average of $720 last year. But have our incomes gone up accordingly? Of course not. In fact, real median household income in the U.S. has been experiencing a steady long-term decline. So in order to fund all of our Christmas spending, we've got to go into even more debt. We love to pull out our credit cards and spend money we don't have on lots of cheap, useless stuff made on the other side of the world by workers making slave labor wages. We do the same thing year after year, and most of us have grown accustomed to the endless cycle of growing debt. In fact, one Pew survey found that approximately 70% of all Americans believe that debt is a necessity in their lives. But then we have to work our fingers to the bone to try and make the payments on all that debt, not realizing that debt systematically impoverishes us. It may be hard to believe, but if you have a single dollar in your pocket and no debt, you have a greater net worth than 25% of all Americans. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Item. From the End of the American Dream blog, the city of Chicago has released a video that shows a white police officer shooting a 17-year-old African-American young man named Laquan McDonald 16 times. Cook County State's Attorney Anita Alvarez says this video is graphic, violent, and chilling, and it's expected to provoke a very strong emotional reaction from Chicago's very large African-American community. Over the past few years, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and Freddie Gray have all become household names because of the way they died, and now it looks like Laquan McDonald's name will be added to that list. But the situation in Chicago is potentially even more volatile with what we witnessed in either Ferguson or Baltimore. More than 1 million African Americans live in the Chicago metropolitan area, and the crime rate in the city has already been skyrocketing. In fact, it's being projected that Chicago's murder rate will increase by 20% in 2015. This is a city that's always living on the edge of chaos, and now the video of Laquan McDonald's death could be the spark that sets Chicago ablaze. Unquote. Item from truthrevolt.org, the video featured above, and you'll see it when you go there, my friends, which will not receive airtime on any major media outlet, tells you all you need to know about the general mindset of everyday, indeed moderate Muslims living in Paris. To the Parisian Muslim everyman, ISIS is a rogue cadre of bandits who target Muslims, not non-Muslims, or it's quite simply a Jewish organization, because after all, Muslims don't commit terrorist acts. The interviews were conducted by author and founder of the Rebel Media, Ezra Levant, who traveled to France last week to glean an inside look into how Parisian Muslims feel in the wake of their city's recent tragedies. Among those interviews, some believe, or say they believe, that ISIS is a Jewish organization supported by greedy Americans in their quest to rob the Middle East of oil. Unquote. You got it, my friends? ISIS is a Jewish organization. not a Muslim organization, but they're just echoing Hillary Clinton, who said Islamic terrorism has nothing to do with Islam. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back to the planet Earth. All right, guys, video's done. I leave you to enjoy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on the show on the air Monday. More videos on Monday. Don't eat too much. You know that's not good for you. But stay safe, stay healthy, and stay angry, even as you are staying very well fed. Hasta luego.